Good morning. I'm Major Martinez from the 132nd Intelligence Surveillance and Reconnaissance Group in Des Moines, Iowa. It's a great pleasure and honor to join you today via YouTube for Veterans Day. Since the first muster of the Massachusetts militia in 1636, Americans have stepped forward and towards the sound of battle to protect our citizens and our way of life from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Today is our day to remember those who have served this nation and those who continue to serve. We gather here to recognize our veterans of all services who have sacrificed both in war and in peace to protect America and our freedoms. Armistice Day, originally proclaimed by President Woodrow Wilson in November 1919, recognized the ceasefire for World War I and the signing of the armistice, putting an end to hostilities on November 11, 1948, at 11 a.m., the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month. More than 20 million people, service members, and innocent civilians alike perished during the 4 years of global bloodshed across Europe, including nearly 3,600 Iowan service members killed in action. Following World War I, America continued to observe Armistice Day each November 11th, and it became a celebration of victory following World War II in 1945. In 1954, following the Korean War, Congress replaced the word armistice with veterans to honor all U.S. veterans each year on November 11th and bringing greater unity to the nation. Later that year, President Dwight D. Eisenhower issued the first Veterans Day proclamation. For more than 60 years, we have observed Veterans Day in the United States. Today, we honor the service of our courageous Americans who have served across the globe throughout our nation's history. Whether in wartime or in peace, these veterans have served our nation with distinction and honor. Please accept our simple and heartfelt thank you for your honorable service, and may we aspire to live our lives as a testament to the freedoms you have so unselfishly secured. The vast majority of veterans we honor today no longer wear the military uniform. Nearly 22 million currently living Americans have served our nation as members of the armed forces. Approximately 7% of our citizens have protected and preserved freedom for the other 93%. Today, more than 240,000 Iowans have proudly served our country and have earned the title of veteran. Despite taking off the uniform, many veterans have continued to serve our nation, state, and communities in some capacity. For veterans, service isn't a phase of their life, but a lifelong commitment. Whether they served recently or defending our nation decades ago, veterans represent an unwavering dedication to freedom and exemplify the highest ideals of service to America. On this Veterans Day, we are still a nation at war. October 7th, 2016 marked the 15th continuous year U.S. forces have operated in Afghanistan, seeking justice for those Americans served in the terrorist attacks of September 11th, 2001, and dismantling terrorist networks that threaten democracy, freedom, and peace around the globe. Today we honor the unwavering courage of the men and women who have served in our military throughout time, including those engaged in the ongoing efforts of securing our nation and fighting terrorism. Our men and women in uniform, both past and present, have been and still remain the most powerful line of defense against enemies who set out to harm us and our way of life. Approximately 2.8 million Americans currently serve in our active duty, reserve, and National Guard around the world. That's less than 1% of our nation, providing security and peace for the other 99%. The true strength of our military is the spirit, commitment, and skill of the men and women who have worn the uniforms of the armed forces. They have answered the call of duty from across America and Iowa, whether in small towns, rural areas, and cities. For nearly 400 years, the guardians of our nation have been willing to serve and sacrifice for our country and have cause they love more than their own lives. This has never changed. What has changed, however, particularly in the last decade, is the age of the veteran. Almost half of those serving in the military are between the ages of 22 and 30. America now has the largest population of young veterans since the Vietnam era. Many of our veterans are now college students or just starting a civilian career, and many of them have families who love and care for these brave veterans. And we must never, ever forget those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms with their lives. The concept of selflessness and sacrifice, qualities which are exhibited every day by soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and Coast Guardsmen are the foundation of our all-volunteer force. More than 50 years ago, Dr. Martin Luther King said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in the moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." The survival and continued prosperity of America depends on the willingness of its men and women to step forward and to serve, especially during the challenging times, to dedicate themselves to a greater cause, the cause of protecting our democracy and our way of life. Regardless of their service, our servicemen and women have served with honor and courage, both at home and overseas. They have protected us from harm, and they have given others the opportunity for a better life. Thank you for remembering our veterans. May God bless you and your families, and may God bless the United States of America. And there's a special shout out to the 6th graders that used to support me when I was overseas in Afghanistan. Thank you very much. Appreciate your prayers. I still think about that. And thanks, Mrs. Martinez, for this opportunity.